Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name Diana Putri Merinda, and in this video I'm gonna continue the material in Instructional Technology and Media for Learning. The title is Visual Principle. Okay, for the first material, we should know what the roles in visual design. Visual design play a huge role in providing concentrate reference for idea. They will motivate learner by attracting their attention, and visual also simplify the complex information. And finally, using visual will help the student to learn better by not wasting their limited time or limited processing capacity with too verbal stream of information. So that's the role of visual design. And then we're gonna talk about the visual literacy. Should describe the visual literacy in our words. We are surrounded by visual in every aspect of our life, but the value of this visual depends on our interpretation of the visual message. That's why literacy is not only referred to reading and writing like it once, and instead the term of visual literacy is used to refer the ability to understand and create visual message. Okay, after we describe the visual literacy by our words, we should identify the two general strategies in visual literacy. They are input strategy and output strategy. What is input strategy? Input strategy is to help the learner to decode this visual by practicing visual analysis skill. That's the input strategy. And output strategy can be used to encode the visual. So the learner will expressing themselves and communicating with others will definitely increase their understanding of media. And then is the goal of visual design. Okay, a goal of visual design aims to achieve basic goals. There are 4 basic goals. Number 1 is ensure legibility by removing obstacles that might prevent you from transferring your message. Number 2, reduce the student effort to interpret visual message by using process such as establishing an underlying pattern. Number 3, a visual design must be appealing to students or they want to pay attention to it, which will lead to failure and in terms of active engagement. And the last, visual design should help students focus their attention. And then the visual element. Hence, visual element can be divided into 3 categories. There is realistic visual, analogical visual, and organizational visual. Okay, now we move to the factor that a designer would manipulate in establishing an underlying pattern to design. Designer arrange the visual and verbal element by aligning them with the reference to the edge of display, and then put the element into shape and balancing it. After that, the designer can choose the style and selecting a color scheme. And finally, after choosing the color for the instructional material, designer consider the emotional response they are seeking and decide accordingly to the color appeal. And now we talk about the arrangement. The designer used the principle of proximity to help students relate the elements to each other, which will reduce their effort in interpreting. After that, designer used the directional to make students focus, and figure ground contrast, where the words are written in a color that is in the contrast with the background color. And the last is consistency. And then for the last material is visual planning tools. In visual planning tools, they are storyboarding, types of letter, drawing, sketching, and cartooning. and the digital image. That's the visual planning. Okay, that's my explanation about the visual principle. Thank you very much for watching my video, and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.